It's 100% the ability to make wise and compassionate decisions for yourself and for others while maintaining inner peace, even when you're under great stress. And every time I share that definition, I'm like, that's a tall order for all of us as humans to rise to, is making wise and compassionate decisions for ourselves and for others while maintaining inner peace, even when I'm under great stress. Like, add all that up and it's like, how do we do that? And so it's it's a life journey. It's a life journey. It's a practice. It's not perfect and we're not going to get it right all the time. But every day we go to bed and we say, thank you for the practice. I'll try again tomorrow. So
that is so beautiful. About you, but I started my business so that my life can be filled with all the things that I love. Whimsy, dedication, real productivity without watching other people kind of fill in the gaps where they exist, I guess, but it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel magical if you don't have the right mindset around you, if you're not actually tackling your work in a way that feels fun. And that's why we have Amy here today. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself, why this topic matters to her, and why it should matter to you, whether you're in your business or a 9-to-5. Amy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Shauna. Thanks for having me. I love your energy, and I'm so excited to be here and have this chat with you.
This is going to be great. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because you've got a really interesting background.
So I am the founder of Create Magic at Work and the host of the Create Magic at Work podcast. Create Magic at Work is an executive coaching firm. So the philosophies and the tools and the thread that runs through the company is rooted in spiritual intelligence for the workplace. It's a faith-neutral system, and we believe that utilizing and accessing your SQ, which is a little farther beyond EQ, emotional intelligence, which a lot of people hear about in the workplace. We believe that accessing your SQ is sort of the way to inner peace and making wise and compassionate decisions, even during stressful times.
Oh, beautiful. And we can totally see how that would play out into into what your podcast says, creating magic at work, right? Like, just this idea of, like, if we're able to act in alignment, if we're able to really sit with ourselves and make those wise and compassionate choices, then maybe it makes it okay to string these. You can see them here on my back here. You see these pretty little sparkly things. Maybe it's okay to add a little. Maybe it's okay to have your Oracle deck next to your card. It doesn't matter, or Oracle deck next to your desk. It doesn't matter if you're a bookkeeper or if you're in an executive marketing space. It doesn't matter. You're allowed to do that when you're in alignment and when you're able to move forward with that sort of, with that spiritual intelligence.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're speaking to, bringing that part of you to work, that into your workspace, that oftentimes we have felt like we had to separate. I have to leave this part of me at home, and then I bring this part of me to work and I wear this mask here. And then when I go home, I get to take the mask off, and then I get to tap into my beautiful, whimsical things that I love, or, your sparkly things behind you. And what we really like to incorporate with Create Magic at Work is bringing that whole person together from a faith neutral lens. So the underlying thing with that is it kind of starts with recognizing who's in the driver's seat of your life the majority of the day. Is it your ego or is it your higher self? And if your ego is running the show a large percentage of time in the SQ or spiritual intelligence language, that's sort of the place within you that wants to protect you all the time, that might show up in a fearful or defensive way, might be scanning an email you receive, reading it as if it's a threat, or reading it in a tone that you're taking it as negative when the person maybe didn't really mean it to be. Those are just like some examples. higher self is that place that within you that feels really calm. A lot of people talk about nervous system these days. Your nervous system is regulated and you can tap into wise and compassionate decisions for yourself and for others when your higher self is in the driver's seat a larger percentage of time. So the core work that we do, that's really the core. But we work with entrepreneurs, we work with large organizations, and we do private executive coaching workshops, all the things. But that's really the underlying philosophy, is just getting to that human and creating the magic with all of our fun. So, and we can get into that if you want, but yeah.
I was actually going to ask you if you could distill spiritual intelligence into 1 to 2 sentences, how would you tell somebody what it is?
It's 100% the ability to make wise and compassionate decisions for yourself and for others while maintaining inner peace, even when you're under great stress. And every time I share that definition, I'm like, that's a tall order for all of us as humans to rise to, is making wise and compassionate decisions for ourselves and for others while maintaining inner peace, even when I'm under great stress. Like, add all that up and it's like, how do we do that? And so it's it's a life journey. It's a life journey. It's a practice. It's not perfect and we're not going to get it right all the time. But every day we go to bed and we say, thank you for the practice. I'll try again tomorrow.
That is so beautiful. Honestly, when you said that, you're right. I went, oh, first of all, kudos for being so concise. Second of all, that felt both heavy and inspirational at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that you brought that up about how that is really, it is a practice. It is a journey. And with each day, you get exposed to different stressful situations, both positive and negative, and you get to explore, what does it look like to have my higher self in the driver's seat? There's a lot of power there.
There's an instrument we use called the SQ1 Skills of Spiritual Intelligence, and it measures kind of what level you're sitting at this point in your life. And then you can choose what skill you want to work on. And I mean, you can work on one skill your whole life. You can work on one skill a week, whatever you want to skill build in. But that kind of gives you a baseline and recommendations for what you might want to focus on. It's called the SQ21, and it's an assessment that we deploy. I find that a lot of people really lean into skill 19, which is making wise and compassionate decisions. And there's usually, not everything is one way or the other, but there's usually things that are uncovered when working with clients, especially with entrepreneurs that are starting out on their journey or in their journey. There's one side of it where, oh my gosh, I need to start exercising compassion for myself, because if I can't give compassion to myself, then I certainly can't give it to others, period. If I'm not exercising self-compassion, way that I'm able to have compassion for others. And then the other piece is, I think a lot of us might be familiar with, is how do I have compassion without, especially women leaders, how do I have compassion without the shadow of empathy? And the shadow of empathy for me in my work is when a business owner or a leader is taking on other people's work and stuff and fixing that's not theirs to take, because they're confusing that being a compassionate leader can view things from a big picture view and alleviate suffering, but not take on the suffering themselves.
Sorry, you're saying all the right things right now. Holy,
Sorry, I dropped it. Like,
okay, I need to invest in like one of those little mini mics so that I can drop it every time somebody says something so powerful. I see this too. And don't get me wrong, I don't just see it. I do it.
100%. We do it. Yeah.
Right? I see this. Oh, I could really solve this problem quicker for them, and then they won't need to suffer. And then I'll just do it. It's okay. They'll never learn to navigate that. Now, that doesn't mean you go, flounder, figure it out, throw them in the water and let them learn to swim. No, it's give them the water wings.
Yeah.
But don't take it on.
Yes. And that kind of leads into one of the other skills, which is being a wise and effective change agent. And, of course, they sort of interplay with each other. But the wise and effective change agent does not rush to quick fixes. They uncover root cause. And so we find ourselves myself included, like you said, we all do it at some point, rushing to fix something because it's just easier if I do it, or we'll alleviate that suffering because I know how to do it, it's fine, instead of uncovering root cause, or instead of empowering your team to do things themselves and build that inner peace within them that they can do stuff and have that self-confidence. So that's where I like to flip the word. I don't like the word delegation. I like empowerment, because if you're hesitant to delegate to your team or to have help, that is a sign to your team that you don't trust them. Mm-hmm. And so we want to flip that around and talk about empowerment. How can I empower you? The wise and effective change agent, I'm just going to drop this because I have an idea towards the end, but the wise and effective change agent is really the edge walker in our world. The person that's an archetype of change, that the edge walker is focused on the future, looks to the future, senses what is coming next, and really looks to the future with creative, positive visualization. So the bridge builder and the change maker of the world, the edge walkers. Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, for everyone who's joining us for the conversation today as either a new conversational friend, or maybe you've been around for a little while, you know that I usually have conversations before we actually hit the record button. And with Amy, we did talk about this idea of edge walker. So I'm happy. I am thrilled to dive into the concept of edge walking with you right now, if you're up for it too, because this is something that super resonates with me. And I think that a lot of the people who are joining us today for this conversation are going there. It's going to be typical. When the bag wrinkles and your dog's ears perk up, this is what's going to happen.
So I want to, I guess let's take a step back too for a second, because I want to, for everyone listening, we've dropped a lot of terms and a lot of different philosophies and tools. So my intention is just to get all of us thinking, and maybe we leave with more questions than answers here on how we want to operate and how we want to tap into that inner peace. Because I think that's ultimately what we're seeking. And not everybody is an edge walker. There's 5 archetypes of change that we utilize at Create Magic at Work. It's a tool that we can measure. And I could give it to you right now, Shauna, and say, hey, take this archetypes of change assessment. And it would come back and tell you how you respond to change and what your orientation is to time with that response. And so there's 5 archetypes, and none are good and none are bad. They're just all who we are. But we have a little bit of 5 in all of us. One of the 5 is an edge walker. And that is what we have found isn't really taught in business, or isn't really cultivated, the skills and the qualities of an edge walker in the workplace. So for example, a guardian is another archetype. The guardian scans the future for risk. They might be misperceived in the workplace as someone that's quote unquote negative, but they also might be a great asset to your team, especially if you're an edge walker, because they'll keep you from falling off the edge.
No, what do you think about that? What are you talking about, Amy?
But I will say, so for the edge walker, there's 5 skills and 5 qualities, and they're so fun to dive into. There's manifesting, there's visioning, there's playfulness, there's focus, there's, gosh, what else is there? I'm trying to remember all of, there's connecting. Oh my gosh, you're such a connector too, Shauna. So at any rate, Dr. Judy Neal created this framework for all of us because she felt like there wasn't a space for the edge walkers. And at the end of this conversation, we're going to pull a card for everyone from the edge walker deck, newly published. And we're going to get a message for everyone from the universe today. So just dropping that little.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Honestly, if we can get the universe to talk to us a little more often, it'd be great. So let's make sure that we facilitate that. Well, I have another question for you, because I think that diving into SQ and 21 different spaces, and then there's so much we could really dive into.
Yeah.
And as much as I genuinely would love to, we can't.
Right.
So what I would actually like to do is I want to look at that as an ideology.
Yeah.
Because I think we dove into that pretty well for bird's eye view.
Correct.
how to apply that in a very action-oriented way for the next couple minutes, to how that actually what does it look like in practice, creating magic at work.
Yeah, so good. So this is not a plug, but I am going to share the book that I authored, Create Magic at Work. It's an activity book that helps you skill build in SQ. And ultimately, what all of these activities and skills do is help you tap into your higher self. And a lot of us do these things already. This is meant to be a creative jumping off point because, I mean, I know there's so many more creative people than me that can come up with amazing things, but anything that helps you tap into your higher self that feels good for you will help you operate from a spiritually intelligent level more often, meaning from your higher self. So what does that look like for some people? Okay, maybe it looks like journaling. Some people hate journaling, but maybe for some it looks like journaling. We have an activity with Create Magic at Work called Journaling with a Twist. So I have a journal.
I'm going to take a minute, Amy, to everybody will see this weird thing happen. Amy's now not mirrored. Ta-da! I would like you to actually plug this.
You want me to do?
You said you don't want to make it a plug. I'm going to make it a plug because this is a really cool resource. Please show everyone what it looks like, and it will be reversed now. And that way you can actually tell everybody, where can they find this?
Yeah, so you can actually go to createmagicatwork.net and click shop, and you can purchase it straight from there. You'll get a magical package in the mail. This book I authored intentionally to bring childlike, whimsical feel back to your work. So it's kind of a rebel middle finger to the buttoned up corporate workspace.
Yes.
And so I had a magical mermaid illustrator do illustrations in it, which I already felt was pretty rebellious for like a businessy type corporate book. And I purposely had a Scholastic book editor edit it because when I was a child, those were my favorite things, was going to the Scholastic book fairs. And fun fact, the book designer of this book did the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books as well. So Chad Beckerman is the designer. And back to your original questions, one of the activities in the book is called Journaling with a Twist.
Let me picture that a little bit
here. Stars in here. And so this is where I was talking about doing what works for you to help tap into higher self. And so from this, a companion deck was born, a journal prompt card deck from Create Magic at Work that you can order in the shop as well. And you can order this deck and you can close your eyes and pick a card for your career or for your work, and it'll give you a message with an affirmation. And it'll also give you 2 executive coaching questions for your career or for your work. So this is a great tool that gives everyone access to executive coaching or career coaching and makes it like, it was kind of my gift, because a lot of people charge a lot of money for executive coaching. And I personally feel like it should be accessible to everyone. And so this deck is full of coaching questions along with a theme for your work or your career. And another fun fact, I think I can share this on your show, Shauna. It's inspired by the tarot. So the illustrator, Mary Bell Martin, you can find her on Instagram. She's super magical, so she knows that. So a lot of these simple illustrations have a nod to that.
That makes perfect sense, actually. Like that really does make perfect sense. And I wanted to say, you were talking about how you're making it accessible. And that's important. I feel like that is the most important part of this, but also you're making it fun. Like I could go out and I could buy a book and it's a novel that includes prompts and yada, yada, yada. And then I could just work through it like a workbook. But this doesn't feel like a workbook. I don't feel like I'm working. I'm working on myself. I'm working on my leadership. I'm working on my capacity to incite change, meaningful, positive change in the world. Mm-hmm. But I'm also just kind of pulling cards and living the hippy dippy life and having a good time. It really embodies what it's meant to produce, is that inner peace.
Yes,
really powerful.
One of the qualities of an Edgewalk is playfulness, a joyful sense of fun and creativity, and an ability to keep everything in perspective. And so I feel like that's what Create Magic at Work does with the tools that we offer is incorporate some playfulness into your work and into your career and some magic.
I don't think I know a single person who doesn't want that in some capacity. I mean, I know that there are some people who are like, work is work, but don't tell me that they wouldn't smile if you brought a box of donuts in. Okay. Everybody wants a little bit of magic and sprinkles at work. Okay. So that said, I wanted to actually invite you to do that card pull that you were planning on doing. And that's the one thing that I want everyone to be able to hold on to moving forward. But before you do that, so I'm sure you've got your cards at hand, so get them ready. Before you do that, I want to remind everybody who's joined us here for this conversation that conversations like this happen every single week, and you get to be a part of this. You get to be a part of the conversation. So please leave a comment, ask the questions. As we said earlier, sometimes you leave with more questions than answers, and that's a good thing. You're learning, you're growing. Let's get playful with it. So leave a question in the comments, and we will be more than happy to answer those questions. And also, don't forget, if you want to join us for the next conversation, and you do, I know who's coming. Ding that bell, subscribe, get involved. This is a cool place to hang out. If you're a business owner, if you're a female service-based provider, if you're growing in your career, in your business, and you really want to do it in a way that's aligned and actually drives action. This is important, that tactical, practical bit. Thank you, Mouth, for cooperating. With that, I am going to get off of this lovely soapbox I've created for myself. And I want you to please, Amy, tell the people what they need to hear.
So yes, we decided we are going to pull a card for everyone and hear what the message is for everyone. This is from the newly formed Edgewalker deck. So Shauna, close your eyes with me and send some energy over here to the deck. See what message we get. Oh, how pretty. Okay, so we got awareness of your thoughts. That's the theme. And the message for everyone listening and us, no matter when you're hearing this, is I consciously tune into something higher than myself for inspiration and guidance. I consciously tune into something higher than myself for inspiration and guidance.
Oh, what a beautiful picture. Oh, that's gorgeous. Who would not want to pull these cards? Holy cow.
Yeah. And so on theme for what we're talking, the magical energetic theme that came out of our conversation today was really like, what does it mean to operate from my higher self? What does that look like for me? What are some things I could play around with for that? And so because of that energy surrounding our conversation right now, all of a sudden we get out of a 52 card deck, a claim that when we move forward, I consciously tune into something higher than myself for inspiration and guidance. And that's like one of the answers. How do I operate from higher self? I'm going to tune into something higher than myself for inspiration and guidance, a higher power if I believe in that, or, just sitting and connecting with the higher power within me, those things. So how cool is that?
I love that so much. Because that connecting to either your higher power, whatever you believe in, and with the higher power within you, it actually kind of is reminiscent of Glennon Doyle's concept of knowing. If anybody's read the book Untamed, she discusses it there. And I think that that's something that I can resonate with, is that knowing, that inner knowing. And that's where, from my point of view, a lot of your branding, when we're talking about your true brand identity, we're talking about forming that beautiful orb of glowing light that is your inner knowing that exists for your business and the way you're showing up. And that never really changes. And that's where we really form your brand identity. And from there, we make tweaks and changes to different external things in order to formulate the outward facing brand marketing strategy. Just something that came to me while you were sharing this connection to that knowing, that higher self. It's beautiful. Really, it's just so beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Please let everyone know what we have in store for them, because we have a link both in the show notes and on the page, on the screen.
Yeah, thank you. So we talked a lot about the different tools at Create Magic at Work today, interestingly enough. So if anybody is interested in using one of those tools or taking one of the assessments we have, like the Archetypes of Change or the Edgewalker or the SQ21, that code will take you right to our executive coaching page. And we would love to chat with you. Of course, the shop will be there as well if you want to grab a deck of cards and get something playful in there as well. But the true magic happens, I think, in a partnership experience with a coach. So if you want to have an SQ experience, feel free to reach out.
Oh, beautiful. And I'm just going to leave that there for a moment while we navigate this world. So you guys remember, look, rewrite the rules.
Yeah.
You're the boss, right? You are the boss, and you get to choose to embrace inner peace and navigate the world in a way that's in complete alignment with who you are and how you want your world to add up, whether it's donuts for lunch or whether it's pulling cards in a little whatever break you have and in any little moment. I have to admit, I did the same thing recently on one of my CEO days, and it was quite the wonderful experience just to be able to lean into that sense of knowing. So with that, I am going to first of all thank you so much, Amy, for being here with us today. You've given a lot of perspective and a lot of action, a lot of forward momentum in my drive, and I'm sure everyone else who has joined us today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shauna. I just so enjoy talking with you. So thank you for having me on your show.
I get excited because the idea of creating magic at work is kind of something that I didn't know was a part of my everyday until you presented it to me. So I want to add another layer of thanks for that, because you've put like real meaning and tangibility, and you wordsmithed my modality and how I like to show up. I dance, I have sparkles. I love to add a little bit of whimsy to my day. I literally have a thing of butterbeer. I don't know, it's kind of shiny. Butterbeer. Like, come on, it matters. It matters how you navigate your day and the mindset that comes around everything you do. And SQ21, having all of those ways to improve upon those skills, because remember, even gratitude is a skill. You need to practice that so that you can make it reflexive.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
And if I might add, I think our overall theme in this conversation as well was like permission. Like, let's give ourselves permission to do these things. You know, you're kind of sharing the magical things that are surrounding you in your work, and you're like, I gave myself permission to do this. And so that might be a call for everyone to step into giving yourself permission. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amy. If this is the third thank you. Yes, you all have permission. If you didn't need it, but you have it. You know what? You can message me. I'll send you a little permission slip. Shoot me a DM. Wherever you're hearing this from, shoot me a DM, an email, whatever, and I will send you the permission slip, because I do have them, and you have my permission, verbal permission. If you want an actual slip, let me. I'll give it to you. With that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. We will chat soon. Later.